On to Kenya, where after losing to Namibia as the other African representative to both the 2015 and 2019 Rugby World Cup editions, the country appointed ex-international Paul Odera to coach the 15s team. With an eye on a maiden qualification to the 2023 World Cup, Mohamed Abubakar caught up with Odera and started by asking him what the Springboks' victory meant for Africa.
Well, I think for the continent, a great sense of pride. It even brought tears to many people's eyes, because if an African country achieves something on the global stage, it's a sense of pride for us all. In terms of an impact on African rugby, I don't think it's had much in terms of impacting the game across the continent. Because South Africa, in a way, are considered first world in terms of rugby, so in terms of funding, even who they play. Because you don't even see South African teams, too many South African teams coming to play 15s here. So in terms of making any structural changes to rugby in Africa, outside South Africa, I don't think it would be much. But in terms of pride, as Africans, yes, for sure. That was a great source of pride for all of us.
Coach, Namibia has always been the other African representative in the past editions. You as the Kenyan coach, how do you plan to topple Namibia and take Kenya to their first ever World Cup?
It's about the culture. We were not going to compete financially. We won't even be as big as Namibia, for sure. If you see some of those huge Namibian players, 6'10", 6'8", 125 kilos. So the first step has been to actually set up a very firm culture and a value system within the Simbas. So it's got to be something that is unshakable and strong, that the boys believe in, that we all believe in as management. So that's been the first step. So that when we have that, it doesn't matter whether we're playing in Kenya or whether we're playing away, that is what is going to carry us through. And then the second thing has been to try and use data to be able to select the best Kenyan team of rugby players across the world. So whether we have players in Australia, whether we have players in South Africa, whether we have players in England, and even here in Kenya. So it's now to set up a database and to set up a system of analysis so that it's the best players who can run on the field to represent Kenya.
Coach, I have to bring this in. You were the first Kenyan coach to beat Namibia at under-20 level and actually won the under-20 Bathurst Cup last year. What are the lessons you take from that campaign you had with the under-20s to the senior team now?
That's an interesting question. So what lessons there? One is we need to blend, not even we need to blend, that I want to blend the types of players we get in Kenya. You know, we have our settler community who play rugby from when they're very young. Then we have people who maybe don't start the game until quite late and may not be as skillful, but they're very hard, you know, very strong mentally. So to blend that mix of the different types of players, to blend different races, and also to blend different ethnic groups. So what I found is if you can create synergy within such differences, then it becomes very strong. So that's one lesson I've picked up from there. The second lesson, of course, is from what we learned in Brazil when we went to the JWRT, which is that high performance rugby is about meticulous planning and attention to every detail. I mean, I was fortunate to be in the same hotel with Japan. So I watched how they plan for every meal, how they plan for every training session. You know, they have what you call an advanced party before they even train. So people go before the rest of the team and they set up everything or check if everything is in place. So those are some of the lessons we've picked up and many other little bits. But the sum total of being a high performance team is doing the little minute details correctly, and then that builds into the big picture.